Hi and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to grow some beets from preparing the bed where you're going to grow them to harvesting. Beets love temperatures between 50 Fahrenheit to 85 Fahrenheit. They love full sun, but they can take part shade, and they will sprout between 5 to 21 days. Fun fact about beets seeds: one seed has about 3 to 4 seeds inside, so when you plant them, make sure you just put one seed per hole. When planting the beets, make sure that the seed goes in deep at least half an inch, and the spacing is 4 inches apart, and the rows are spaced 12 inches apart. Once you've decided what area you're going to be working with, mark it out and make sure the soil is very loose. Beets roots can go very deep. These are some beets I dug up and the roots were down to 8 inches. I work with the 5 feet by 4 feet area, and since I've never grown in this area, I did double digging. You move the soil from one area to another and you fork in between so you can get down at least to 24 inches of loose soil. Once I double dig, I even out the soil, and then I don't step on the raised bed again, just to make sure I keep the soil nice and fluffy for when the vegetables are planted. After doing the double digging, I water the area to keep the microorganisms alive. I added some alfalfa meal to the area for the beets. I did a soil test and it came back saying that I needed 2 pounds of alfalfa meal. So I just sprinkle the 2 pounds on top of the raised bed. And then I work it in with the rake, just like a light working at the top 2 inches of the soil. And then again, I give it a good water to keep the microorganisms alive. If you prepare the area and you don't plant right away, you can go back and just fork the first 12 inches. From the time I prepared the raised bed to the time I decided to plant, it was about 2 weeks, so I just went back and forked it really well. Before planting the seeds, make sure your area is nice and even out. So I took a rake and even out the area. I made myself a planting board to make it easier, and it's just something I'm experimenting with. The board that I made for planting seeds, I drill holes 3 inches apart in a triangle pattern so I could fit as many beets as I could. For this season, I'm going to be growing some organic beet cylindra from True Leaf Market, and they're certified organic. And when I plant my beets out, I make sure to take notes just so I can improve as I go in the garden each season. Okay, once I put the board down, I took a little stick and just poked the holes on each hole. And then in each hole, I put a seed in. Once I put all the seeds per hole, I remove the board, and then I just make sure there's a seed per hole and gently close each hole with the soil around it. Then I just move on to the next area and make sure the board is really flat, and I poke it with the stick, and again I put a seed per hole. Once you have planted all the seeds, then make sure that you give it a good watering and keep it nice and moist until they start sprouting. And within 5 to 21 days, they should start sprouting. And as they get bigger, you don't have to water them as often. And these are some beets that I planted and they overwinter. I hope that you get to go out and plant some beets and that you have a good harvest. Thank you for watching and happy gardening.